Every time I read it in French, it sounds like
Mhm.
like beans are gonna come down and blow things up. This morning we were talking about
Gosh.
grammar, how difficult French is.
Okay, so the meeting is now live. Oh gosh. Okay. Wait, Tracy, I'm sending you a message.
I'm gonna actually log on to Facebook and watch us. Whoa, hey, there we are. I'm gonna like it. I'm even liking our event already. I know it's going to be so good.
Oh, perfect. Well, hello, audience.
For you, hello, and you, Madeleine.
4 people are watching? Wow.
I think they're whole.
Hello. Well, welcome everyone to Unusual Paris on Tuesday. We're going to talk about tourist attractions off the beaten path, things that you should still visit that are worth visiting, but aren't the Eiffel Tower or the Arc de Triomphe, and some weird stories as well. So the first one I want to talk about, I have 7 attractions today to talk about with you guys. Tracy, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
It's a little bit glitchy, but it's not too bad.
Okay, cool. As long as my voice isn't glitching, that's good. So the first, so actually these 7 I'm getting from my blog post I did on the Experience First blog. If you go to the Experience First website and go down, there's a link to the blog. And the blog post is Off the Beaten Path, Paris. So the first attraction I want to talk about is the Arène de Lutèce, which means the Lutèce Arena. Tracy, this is right next to Rue Mouffetard, your favorite street.
There are a couple others that are contending. So, it's like neck and neck.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. This arena is like, it's pretty, you can just kind of stumble upon it. It's very empty. It's like low sand. There's always Parisians like playing frisbee or football, and they like soccer, I mean. But it was built in the 1st and 2nd centuries and used to host gladiatorial combat. So it was actually used for like gladiators and stuff, which I find really interesting. And the stands can hold up to 15,000 people. But now the stands are abandoned and they cannot hold that many because they're probably very ancient and decrepit, but it's absolutely free to visit. And there's even like little small enclosures that I imagine were used for animals and stuff for the gladiators to fight. But now they're just little rooms sort of that are open and you can explore them if you want. I don't know if you've ever seen this, Tracy. It's like you go up Rue Mouffetard and there's a park, and it's in there. It's like kind of hidden.
Yes, it was actually one of the first places I got to see when I came here semi-permanently, and didn't even realize what I was doing because it was Gilles had to take a phone call, and he's on the phone, and I'm looking around, and he was trying to tell me what it was, and I wasn't paying all that much attention. All of a sudden, I look around and I realize, oh shoot, girl, this is like an ancient, like you said, gladiator. It was where they hung out and fought animals. I only saw a cat, but I was like, ready to fight it. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. You don't realize how you could just be walking and you make this little turn and you go in behind this building, this apartment complex or whatever, and there's just old, incredibly old, stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool. And like the apartments by that area are super nice. I know there's one apartment that has a greenhouse attached to like the balcony that I've always wanted to live in or imagine myself living in. And I know it's right by the arena here. And then on the next little weird off the beaten path thing is the Defender of Time sculpture. I've never seen this in real life, but it's on Bonjour Gilles. It's on 8 Rue Bernard de Clairvaux in the 3rd arrondissement. And it's like a man with a sword on top of a bird, a dragon, and a crab on a rock. It's a sculpture made by a French artist named Jacques Monastier. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. He's a local French artist, and he made it in 1979. And it's mechanical, and it used to actually move and have like wind and ocean sounds apparently, and all the animals would like attack the man. So, but now it doesn't move. So yeah, I don't know if you've seen this, Tracy.
I want to see that. And that is, where is that? That's so.
It's in the third. It's in the 3rd arrondissement.
Oh, you see, you're like talking about crabs and animals moving in I'm like, I totally want to see that. We have to just use our imagination, I guess, about as far as the animation of it, but that sounds amazing.
Actually, let me share a photo. I'm an idiot. I have photos prepared, but can you see that?
Yes. Oh my.
Oh, that's the
that is the
dragon, crab. Where's the bird? I think this is the bird.
Is amazing. Oh. Holy.
And then I have another photo as well. My Wi-Fi is being weird. Sorry about that. So there that is.
Oh my gosh.
Can you see?
Yes.
It's kind of small. I imagine it's smaller than we think. Also, I should have Arène de Lutèce here.
If that ever goes missing, don't bother to come look for me. I didn't take it. There we go. Oh, that's so
cool. Okay, so stop sharing. Okay, cool. I was there when they built it. What? Gilles was apparently there.
Oh yes, he's a time traveler. He's
what?
He's caught in a Mobius, but he's handsome no matter what era. It's always the same handsome.
Very cool. So the next attraction I have is actually a garden. So in Paris, there's a lot of gardens to visit, like the Luxembourg Gardens, the Tuileries Gardens, and it's always packed with people. But at the oldest running hospital in the world, but it's also the oldest hospital in Paris on Ile de la Cité, Hotel Dieu has a courtyard garden that you can visit. It's open to the public and it's really beautiful. And I just added that because it's a weird thing to do.
I think Gilles was there when they built
that. Gilles was here when they built everything. And the Hotel Dieu is in the 4th arrondissement. It's on Ile de la Cité, so it's like by the Notre Dame if you're looking for it. And then, were you there when they built that too? Oh my god.
He's kind of a smart ass. We'll see what his answer is on that.
My next one is Bucheol Moe Park. It's a really big park with lots of like varying elevation, and Parisians go there to like jog, for picnics. I've seen people doing yoga. There's a big centerpiece of the whole park. Let me show you a photo. This will make it easier. So this is part of Bucheol Moe, like people walking around, and here's the centerpiece, and some of the view that you can see in the park. But let's see if I have a better photo. So this is a better view of like the centerpiece. I don't know what this would be called, Tracy.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
the viewpoint.
Oh wow. Oh no, that's incredible. And that's out on the 19th, is that correct? So that's pretty far out too.
Um, let me see. I know it's by Lomiere metro station. It's in the 19th arrondissement, yes. So it's in the 19th arrondissement.
Yeah. It's a, I mean, well, I
Sorry?
mean, again, Paris, like we've talked about before, is not very big. So when we say, oh my gosh, the 19th arrondissement, that's pretty far out there. Nothing is really all that far out there. So and it looks beautiful. I think it's probably worth a day trip there, even a half a day, if you're in Paris. That looks beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. Have you never gone before?
I have not.
No? Oh my God, you have to. It doesn't take a whole day, even though it's so relaxing. You'll probably want to hang out there all day. But it's not very touristy, to be honest. A lot of locals hang out around there, which is why I put it here, even though it's like one of the biggest parks in Paris. So, also, I forgot to show you, I have Dieu, which is like why it's beautiful. So there's those.
What is it that you have?
Can you see it?
No, not yet.
It's the courtyard of Hotel Dieu, the hospital.
Oh, oh my gosh. And that
Can you
doesn't
see?
sound like, by other like American standards, if you were to say that, that wouldn't sound like particularly scenic or beautiful, but because it's Paris, it's you could say, oh, it's an old hospital, or it's an old, but it's just magnificent. So, you know, it's, oh my
Yeah. I mean, I want to
wow.
see this in real life. It looks like a fountain or something.
That's so French. Very manicured garden, the jardin that's all manicured and very, you know, it's a lot of times very symmetrical, very not like an English garden, you know, that's very, you know, lively and spilling over, you know, it's very.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's those. Also, Tracy, have you been to Promenade Plante or anything like that? Like any hiking trails here?
No, only Bois de Vincennes.
Okay. Yeah.
Been there a couple of times, which of course is magnificent, but we wanted to go to the other Bois, but it was a little far away, and it was kind of when the first time we wanted to go, it was when you really weren't supposed to be out, so that would have been tricky. And then the second time was when everything had just opened, so we knew it was just going to be packed with people. But it's on the list. But so what is it? The Plante? What is it?
Promenade Plante, but actually, I was gonna talk about there's another one because Promenade Plante it's an abandoned railroad. Actually, in New York, they made the High Line, which is based off of Promenade Plante with their railroad station or their railroad in general. They put like flowers and plants like botanical gardens on top. And they have that here as well in Paris.
Yes, it's actually,
and Paris is the first one.
it's actually like a couple of blocks from here. It took me a second to realize what you were saying because I don't know everything yet in French what it's called. But yes, it's actually right. It's only a few blocks that way. One of my favorite boulangeries is there, and it like heads toward Parc Montsouris, and then it goes that way. And yeah, they have, yes. And now I remember because I saw where you have this, one of the slides you have is where there's all kinds of graffiti and things like that. And yeah. Okay. The ceinture, which is like a belt or something, right? Because it was like a beltway or something that went around.
No, that's actually the La Petite Ceinture is something else. La Petite Ceinture and La Plante are different ones. I actually have both of them here though to talk about. La Petite Ceinture is in the 15th arrondissement. It's a 1.3 kilometer walking trail along an abandoned rail line. So there's two rail line hiking trails. There's Promenade Plante, La Petite Ceinture. Gilles says you're mixing it with La Coulée Verte.
I said no, I know the difference.
I don't know what La Coulée Verte is. I've never heard of it. But
or something, I think.
what?
It was an aqueduct, I think, or something. I remember. It's been closed and now it's open again, I guess. Shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay.
La Coulée Verte is the Promenade Plante. Yes. And it's been copied in New York. It's called the High Line in New York. And it's gorgeous. I've been to both. The La Petite Ceinture runs from Rue Olivier Dussert to Place Ballard, and it meets Georges Brassens Park and André Citroën Park. And you can enter it opposite 101 Rue Olivier Dussert in the 15th arrondissement. So it's kind of cool. I really like that Paris has all these trails, you know? It's such a natural city instead of like New York, which probably has the High Line and Central Park, and that's kind of it for trails. But let's see if I can show you a picture of this. So here's one, the Petite Ceinture. There's a lot of graffiti in this picture though. Or this one. Can you see it?
Not yet. Where is it?
Not yet?
No.
I'm sharing the screen.
That's over. Yeah. There we go.
Okay, and then this one as well?
The next one's the one with a lot of graffiti, right?
Yeah, can you see this one? I'm putting the one with graffiti.
Not yet. There we go. Yeah, that's okay. That looks about right.
This is like graffiti. Yeah. I've seen that. I haven't taken this trail, but I've seen it from up top, and it kind of looks like that exact photo. Oops. Okay. Why is this happening? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm not the best with technology. Whoop. Okay, perfect. Sorry, all my windows were all over the place. And then I have two more as well. I have Le Cimetière des Chiens, which is the pet cemetery or cemetery of dogs, which was founded in 1899 following a law stating that Parisians couldn't bury animals or pets wherever they wanted to. They actually had to abide by a law for sanitary reasons. So this cemetery holds over 40,000 animal remains, including like dogs, cats, a monkey, a lion, a racehorse. And you actually can find this in Agnières-Seine, and it's 30 minutes taking the train outside of Paris. And then let me see if I can show you if this is gonna work.
People still are putting animals there, I wonder.
I don't know how up to date it is, but I imagine so.
It's funny.
Oh gosh, that's so small.
Remember we were talking with Maureen about how many graves there are in our spooky stories on Fridays, how many graves there are in Père Lachaise. I was like, oh, there's almost as many
Uh,
dogs and animals buried. Oh, whoa. Parisians love their dogs.
yeah. Yeah, they do.
I have
It's
noticed,
funny.
I have
I
noticed
love
Parisian
dogs too.
dogs is that they tend to keep to themselves. I mean, you know, I have yet, I try so hard every time I see a dog. I just want to pet it. I want it to run up to me, and they just don't. They're very much like Parisians. They're like, yep, whatever. I'm just not even going to pay attention to you. And I'm sneaky trying to go like, come here, come here, come here. And they're like, I don't understand English. I'm so sorry.
I actually, this is kind of funny. I think the way Parisians treat their animals is kind of unusual, actually. And this can go into like a story time type thing, but I'll just add this in here with the cemetery of dogs. I was with my boyfriend by the Seine and we were talking, and I think it was about something because we were really like focused on our conversation, and then suddenly we like see this dog, like this woman and her dog were walking past. It was like in the fall, so there were all these leaves on the ground, and she dragged her dog because I guess it was trying to pee or something. So she dragged her dog like violently, but the dog was dragged into a bin, like into a trash can. And it made this loud like metal crash sound. And we just like burst out laughing for so long because I'm not you, but in the US, you would never, like in Texas, you would never catch someone dragging their dog like on a daily basis. But I actually see Parisians doing that all the time. It's just this one lady dragged her little dog into a metal trash. So
Surprise me at all. Surprise me anyway. I mean, it's like they dogs just don't dare misbehave, I suppose, or you know. I don't
yeah. And I remember when I first moved to France, to Paris, I saw this old man with a little tiny fluffy dog, and I have a white fluffy dog. I have a Bichon at home, and I saw the dog, and I was like, "Oh my god, it looks like my dog!" And the guy drags it away, and I was like, "Oh my god,
yeah, don't you
you're
dare
dragging your dog!
Don't you dare look at my dog!"
Yeah.
We were in Bois de Vincennes, and there was all this area where these dogs are romping and playing. So I was like, oh, this is my opportunity. So I and I saw a dog that was acting just like my dog. I just miss so much, who I will be bringing here, mind you. Oh yeah, definitely bringing him here. He misses his mama. So I was watching and this throwing the ball. This dog's going to get the ball in the water, and then he's coming and just waiting for him to throw it again. And I could not help myself. I just had to go up and I just said, parlez-vous anglais? And he says, oh, a little bit. I said, can I just touch your dog? I just want to touch your dog. Your dog looks like my dog. I just need to have like a moment with your dog. But he was actually really, really nice. And so I took a picture of his dog, of course. And I want to say I didn't touch the dog, but some other dog ran by, and so I got to touch my first Parisian dog. It ran by, didn't pay any attention to me, but I got to brush a little bit. So I was like, oh, yay.
Yeah.
So
I remember there was this woman, she was really like old, like elderly, and she was walking along the Seine, and I was just sitting there with a friend by the Seine picnicking, I guess. And she had a cute little puppy, and so I wanted to touch it, but I know better than to just shoot. So my friend goes like, oh, I don't know the word for pet, but like, can I touch your dog? And the lady was like, yeah, her name is like Buttons or something, or her name is Cookie. And she sat with us for like 30 minutes talking about her dog. And I was like, oh my God, when I'm old, this is going to be my way to talk to strangers. You know, it was kind of funny. Like, yes, there's probably Parisians that are like, no, don't touch my dog. And there's dogs that are like, no, I don't care about you. But there's some Parisians who like really want to strangers.
We need to have like some type of a group where you can touch Parisian dogs or like really nice dogs, because I kind of did that once before too, and I got the side eye like, don't you dare. Don't you dare even think of catching my dog.
Yeah.
A dog meetup where you can just, you know what I mean? Like, just pet other people's dogs. I think you and I are missing our.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah, I miss my dog so much. I feel like people are unusual about their pets. I feel like that's a really unusual human thing. Like the way people are about like, oh, don't touch my pet, or like how they treat their pets.
Yes.
It's kind of weird.
Well,
It says a lot about a person.
yeah. And in America, you know, you're standing there and dogs are running all around, you know, dog's gonna run up to you, a person comes up with their dog and they're like, look, let our dogs meet each other. I mean, it's so social compared to here. Everything's very, you know, this is my space, that's your space with, you know, and I'm on my way. And it seems so, it's again, a lot like, it's a very cultural thing. I think you can learn a lot about a culture by watching the interaction between the pets. Even cats here are more like,
Yeah. I think like how people treat like waiters and their pets and how people are on the train. It's like really the underbelly of what a culture is like. It's in the little things.
you are right on.
And then I actually just have one more thing to share. The conciergerie clock, it's at the Tour de l'Horloge of the conciergerie, which is a royal palace dating from the 14th century. There's a clock tower, and on the corner of first around face to face with this clock, and it's the medieval Marie Antoinette like kept put her in the guillotine. So I'm gonna show.
You were breaking up there, so maybe if you have access to that little snippet, post it maybe on the chat. I'll actually do it on the Facebook chat if you want, because that's actually kind of a cool. That's actually pretty cool. So I'll do it on the Facebook one if you want to do it on the.
Okay, I will. Do you see the photo that I'm sharing with you?
I do now. Yes, it took a moment, but
okay.
Yes.
So I can just repeat myself if it's also easier. This is on the clock tower of the conciergerie, which is where they kept Marie Antoinette in prison. And you can see this clock tower, this clock. It's like gilded, sort of fleur-de-lis type design with statues. It's really interesting. And it's in the first arrondissement. I'm also writing it down.
That's a beautiful area. That bridge right there is it's like the Pont de, no, it's not Pont de Col. I forgot the bridge. I always forget the bridge, but it's like one of the most beautiful places to watch a sunset. It's such a nice bridge there.
Yeah.
It'll come to me as soon as we end the meeting. I'll know it, and I'll say it to myself in perfect French. That's my plan.
That sounds good. And then, so we're basically out of time, but we have tons of other live events this week and new events. So if you go to Experience First from home, you can see all our events below our call.
I'm gonna tell him it's the bridge, because then he'll know which
it's
bridge.
gotta be a bridge. It's near Châtelet and like Pont. Is it called concierge? Is it called like Horloge Bridge or something?
No.
I don't know. Now I want to know.
Bucheol, it's the bridge where I always I say conciergerie. It's that bridge where we always watch the sunset. Come on. Come on, let's get the answer.
Come on. We can't end this until we know.
Oh, yes, let's bask in this moment. I actually didn't say that. I did say Pont d'Arcole, but I said it, maybe it's not, because I thought that was the other bridge. Actually, my favorite bridge is the one over by Notre Dame. It's the two little tiny bridges, well, smaller bridges. And one of the most unusual people in Paris, we'll have to get to that next time. He's always on that bridge. And then one of the other ones is always on the Austerlitz, the Pont d'Austerlitz. So maybe next week we'll get to those weird stories, because I think Paris is full of them, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, we should. We could take an unusual bridges theme or something, or we can just wing it. Everything I shared today was from a blog post that was specific to kind of shamelessly plug a blog post, but we will share with you different things in later episodes as well. Well, thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Madeleine. And we have to have my deal back so he can fact check me.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Gilles. Bye, guys. Au revoir.
Bisous.